4 times the Nigerian military has used excessive force. Hi there, welcome to Walking Title, where we answer tough questions that no one asked. In today's episode, we explore times the Nigerian Army has used brute force on innocents and civilians. It is a sensitive topic, so we would save our humor for another time. This episode is dedicated to DJ Switch, a beacon in the darkness. Asaba, 1967. In 1967, a lightning-fast offensive by the Biafran army gained momentum into federal territory, crossing the Niger Bridge and taking over a town 167 kilometers from Lagos. However, they were unable to hold ground, and under Colonel Murtala Muhammad, the federal troops pushed them back across the bridge and into Onitsha. The Biafran troops blew up the Niger Bridge, effectively severing the chase. Asaba, the last town before the bridge, was taken by the Nigerian Army for reorganization and recon. On October 5th, the army entered Asaba and began ransacking the town and killing civilians, calling them Biafran sympathizers. Town leaders summoned the people to assemble on the morning of 7th October, hoping to end the violence through a show of support for one Nigeria. Hundreds of men, women and children wearing the ceremonial aqua ocha attire paraded along the main streets, singing, dancing and chanting one Nigeria. At a junction, men and teenage boys were being separated from women and young children, and they were gathered in an open space at Ogbe Osawa village. Federal troops revealed machine guns and others were given to open fire. It is estimated that more than 700 men and boys were killed, some as young as 12 years old, and in addition to many more killed in the preceding days. The bodies of some victims were retrieved by family members and buried at home, but most were buried in mass graves without appropriate ceremony. Many extended families lost dozens of men and boys. Federal troops occupied Asaba for many months, during which time most of the town was destroyed. Many women and girls were raped or forcefully married, and large numbers of citizens fled, often not returning until the war ended in 1970. The total death toll during early October was in excess of 1,000, although the exact numbers will likely never be known. Adi, 1999. On November 4, 1999, 12 policemen were killed by members of the Asawani gang, a group of armed youths allegedly created by Ala Messia, then governor of Bayelsa State, for the gubernatorial elections of 1999. The slain officers included one DSP who was passing through the village. Unconfirmed reports also said military personnel deployed in the community were ambushed close to the town, which increased tension in the area. In retaliation, the Nigerian military, allegedly on the orders of the then President Olusegun Obasanjo, invaded the town and completely leveled it. On November 20th, more than 3,000 soldiers were deployed to Odi. After shelling an intense gun battle between the army and the Asawani boys, both using Odi as the backdrop to the chaos, the troops broke through the blockage and unleashed havoc on the community. According to eyewitness reports, the soldiers surrounded the village, separated the men from the women and children, and executed them. Dozens were killed, including the king of the village. When the smoke cleared, only 3 buildings were standing: the Anglican church, bank, and health center. The rest were burnt or burning. In February 2013, the Federal High Court ordered the federal government to pay 37.6 billion naira compensation to the people of Odi. In his judgment, Justice Lambi Akambi condemned the government for a brazen violation of the fundamental human rights of the victims to movement, life, and to own property and live peacefully in their ancestral home. Sheikhs Massacre 2015. On December 12, 2015, a group of Sheikhs Muslims conducted a peaceful protest for the release of their leader, Ibrahim Zakzaki. The unarmed protesters took to the streets, holding placards that showed their demands, and walked together in groups. A procession of military vehicles carrying the army chief was blocked, and tensions rose. The Nigerian army claimed that the Sheikhs had tried to assassinate its highest officer. In response, 349 Sheikhs were murdered that day, and Zakzaki's house was burnt to the ground. Amnesty International provided images of suspected mass graves where the military reportedly hid the bodies of victims of their carnage, making the final toll unclear. Leke 2020. In October 2020, young Nigerians took to the streets to protest against multiple instances of police brutality in the #EndSARS protest. The peaceful protesters had been camping at Leke toll gate for 2 weeks prior and preventing vehicles from passing. On 20th of October 2020, the governor announced a curfew, throwing the city into a frantic state. A group of protesters camped at the toll gate and prepared to spend the night as they could not get to their homes in time. At 6:50 p.m., the street lights and toll lights were switched off. The Nigerian Army advanced in formation and fired into the crowd. A Nigerian DJ Switch, live streamed the entire event to an audience of over 100,000 people. In the graphic video, the Nigerian anthem can be heard being sung with shaky voices as a man tries to remove a large bullet from a protester.